Shackelford, Palmer and Freckleton in the midfield. It's Oldacre, Banks and Naylor, Dobra and Mandeville either side of Quigley. Looks like a 4-3-3 that could very easily become a five in midfield with one up top. Grigg, Jacobs and Colclough, who've got 20 goals between them, it's actually 4 goals between them this season, form part of the bench. FA Cup on Three Counties Sport. We are on 103.8 FM as usual, 104.5 and 95 FM digital radio, and because it's the FA Cup we are around the UK on BBC Sounds on the Listen Live. So wherever you are this afternoon, a very good afternoon to you. It's Watford and Chesterfield. Both these sides have been to the semi-final of this competition. Very famously in 1997, Chesterfield were knocked out after a replay against the Ravanelli, Emerson and Juninho inspired Middlesbrough. Watford, of course, though, have been to that stage of the competition no fewer than 3 times this century. We are off and underway on Three Counties Sport, and it's Watford kicking towards the 4,000 strong contingent who've made the trip from Derbyshire from left to right as we look in the Sir Elton John stand, looking on as we do at the Graham Taylor stand in front of us. The ball played forward to Georgi Chakvedadze. He is looking for the run of Aspria on the right hand side. It's intercepted by Chesterfield, but it is back with the Hornets, who have it in the midfield. Jake Livermore back to Sirialta, and now who plays it out wide to Morris. He's easily recognisable with his extremely bright orange boots on the left side of the Watford defence. Watford almost get themselves in a bit of bother, but sorting out his feet was Martins, and Watford have it inside their own half with Sirialta, the Chilean, exchanging passes in the midfield with Kone with 3 goals to his name this season, out to Morris on the left hand side. Watford in these opening 80 seconds or so have almost exclusively had the ball. Daniel Backman back in the side, not captaining in the team this afternoon though. That's with Hoot. There's a foul in the centre circle by Reece Healy and a free kick to Chesterfield. Watford will certainly look to be patient, pass the ball around their National League opponents and just grind them down basically.
Well, they want to dominate possession, that's the one thing they will want to do, but Chesterfield obviously playing with confidence. One thing I've noticed, they are playing quite attacking lineup. Chesterfield, they haven't come here, some teams would come here and be in the conference side and go 4-5-1, but Chesterfield are playing 4-2-3-1. They're pressing high up the pitch as well, so they haven't come here to, as they say, park the bus.
Ball with Chesterfield inside their own half. It's the first time they've had the ball and they give it away almost immediately. It's with Tom Deli-Basharou, and Sirialta forced back by Joe Quigley, who's joint top scorer in the 11 that have started. Watford coming forward down the right hand side now. Deli-Basharou into the penalty area. Aspria has it. Aspria's still going. He's just crowded out really, but Chesterfield struggling to get the ball away. Edge of the penalty area. Back again. Jake Livermore thinks about shooting. Does shoot. It's into the hands of goalkeeper Ryan Boot. Early touch for the replacement goalkeeper this afternoon for Chesterfield.
Yeah, it all comes from a Daniel Backman. Great clearance over the left back, and then Aspria bursts into the box, but they do well, Chesterfield. Get men behind the ball, block the shot. Good start from both teams, I would say. Chesterfield, what I'm saying, they are not parking the bus. They're definitely pressing high up the pitch, and I think they want to make a go of it. I don't think they've come here to sit and try and defend, which we'll see what that means for Watford. Does that help Watford, or does it cause Watford problems? This should be interesting.
Free kick to the visitors. They have won 20 of 25 matches in the National League this season, only lost 3. They've all been away from home. They're unbeaten The spy rights. The ball is at home anyway. Here's Darren Oldecker into the centre circle, and Shackelford played out to the right hand side. Chesterfield in possession. Challenge comes in from Martins. He puts the ball out with his shock of blonde hair. The number 37 for Valerian Ismail's side. It's a cool January afternoon, but Paul Cook, the Chesterfield manager, ball's given away to Asprilla, who was a blind pass. The shot comes in and it's deflected over the bar by Freckleton, who did really well, but Brandon Horton, wasn't it, I think, gave the ball away. He didn't look, he just passed it back, and Asprilla, well, probably should have done better actually. Corner taken quickly on the Watford left hand side. Ball will come into the penalty area now, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, it's a definite opportunity for Asprilla there. He should do better, like you said, Paul. Mistake from Horton, the left back of Chesterfield, trying to play back to his goalkeeper. Only plays it to Asprilla. Asprilla's one-on-one then, cuts inside. Must say, a brilliant tackle from Freckleton, the centre half. He just launches his body to stop the shot. But the one thing Chesterfield manager Paul Cook wouldn't want is a bad back pass like that from his left back so early on in the game. But they get away with it because of their great centre half defending from Freckleton.
Ball out of play off Jake Livermore, the Watford midfielder. It's a throw to the visitors, I was going to say. An unexpected back pass there. Paul Cook on this cool afternoon is in just a short sleeve shirt. Fair play to him, but a bit cool for that. The ball won back by Chesterfield. Watford just a little lax there. It's played out. Banks, right hand side into the penalty area. Chance maybe for Chesterfield. Appeals for handball from the home side. Shot does come in, it's blocked. Ball played the edge of the penalty area, out by Mandeville. Right hand side, Banks is looking to get past Morris. Banks still has it, turns away. Ball into the penalty area. Chance maybe for Chesterfield, it's flicked away. But the Chesterfield fans to our right hand side, buoyed by this last couple of minutes where they've been taking the game to their hosts. The ball now with Banks once again. He looks like he might be a tricky player, as does Mandeville. The ball comes off the Chesterfield man though, and it's a throw. Watford, you feel, unless they can get their noses in front early here, are going to be in a game.
They're definitely going to be in the game. Chesterfield's attitude's great. You can see the confidence coming out of them. That's a team top of their league, and they're confident, and like I said, they're pressing high and they're getting on the ball. So Watford need to take their chances when they come.
Chekvadadze to Asprilla on the right hand side, cuts in field, edge of the penalty area. I think that was meant for Martins, but really Healy took it off his feet. Back out to Chekvadadze. Asprilla's waiting for it. There's four ahead of him in the penalty area. Little touch. Asprilla now on his left foot, wants to get it over onto his other, but he can't. And Chesterfield come away with it now with Dobra. They give the ball away though. Chesterfield, a mad start to this game. We've had 8 minutes goalless, but it's frenetic at Vicarage Road. Ball with Sirialta now to Deli Basharou. Plays the ball forward to Chekvadadze. Looks to get away from Oldecker. Does so. Asprilla now. First time pass to Deli Basharou. Back to Chekvadadze now. He's forcing his way forward. Little touch up towards Kone. Kone possibly dallied on it a little bit, and Dobra can bring the ball away, keeps the ball in play but gives it away to the waiting Asprilla. Back to the halfway line, centre circle. Wesley Hoot, the Dutchman, out to the left hand side, and Martins met by Shackelford. Martins looking to get past Shackelford, who's staying with him, wins the corner. Martins, second of the afternoon for the Hornets.
Yeah, and I think wide areas today for both teams are going to be key. Martins and Asprilla for Watford, they're going to have the run on the fullbacks, and so are the Chesterfield wide players. Dobra's one, Mandeville's the other. They will have one against ones, both sides.
Watford 0, Chesterfield 0. The Hornets' second corner, it doesn't really get above waist height, but it's caused some problem in the penalty area. Edge of the 6-yard box, hooked away by Ollie Banks, and the ball goes out for a throw to Watford. We've had almost everybody forward. I think everybody but James Morris. I think I called him Josh earlier. James Morris. Here's Deli Basharou. Ball into the centre circle and Hoot out wide to Martins. It could be a battle with Raheem Shackelford on the left-hand side for Watford. The ball is with Chekvedadze. Infield to Morris. Now Kone back out to the left-hand side. Shot comes in from distance and it's way over the bar from Chekvedadze. Got underneath it, never troubling Ryan Boot.
Yeah, and Chesterfield will be happy with what they just saw there, because they forced Chekvedadze to come inside, and then he's took a shot on from 25 yards. So it's just testament to what Chesterfield are doing defensively. Must say they've settled really well. They look confident, and they're not a team that's come here in fear of Watford at all. So it's making for a good game, and both sides are committed to getting men forward. So I think we're in for a really good game. It started well anyway, and like I said, there's no inferior complex coming from Chesterfield at all at the moment.
All in blue, the Spy Rights. Fairly cloudy day in Hertfordshire, but the sun has just risen up behind the Graham Taylor stand as Chesterfield come forward with Quigley. Now Mandeville. Ollie Banks, who's had a fair bit to say in this game already with 10 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Ball forward by Banks once again. Good football from the non-league side. Darren Oldecker to Liam Mandeville in the middle of the Watford half there. It's played forward, little touch to Dobra. Armando Dobra wins a throw for his side. I think it's pretty nailed on, Derek, that Chesterfield won't be a non-league side for much longer. Plummeted down the leagues, but a return to League Two and the Football League come May looks well. They're 7 points clear with 2 games in hand, so it would take some implosion for Paul Cook's side. Yeah, and then you've got to look at, you know, the teams that come up last year, Wrexham and Notts County, doing really well in League Two. And it is different. These are professional setups now in the National League. Chesterfield are professional, train every day, and you can see they're a good side. They're a good footballing side. I'm really impressed with them in the start of this game. Challenge from Kone in the middle there. Healy comes forward, wins the free kick to the left of the centre circle. Watford 0, Chesterfield 0 with 12 minutes played. 3 Counties Sport on BBC 3 Counties Radio. 2 commentaries for you this afternoon. A mixture of matches involving our sides being played tomorrow, and an early kick-off, and teams not playing at all. So we've got Luton against Bolton tomorrow afternoon with Simon Oxley as the ball's played forward for Watford, but offside, I think, against Deli Basharou, and a free kick to Chesterfield inside their own half. Burton against Wycombe Wanderers is our other offering with Sam Avery from the Pirelli Stadium. That's a League One fixture. The ball is back with Backman in the Watford goal. Hoot out to the left-hand side, and James Morris plays it to Martins. Probably the first point in this 13 minutes we've had so far, Derek, where it's kind of calm. Yeah, I agree, Paul. It's just slowed down slightly, but I think the Watford players will be thinking, yeah, this team are a decent side, and what you got to do when you're the higher team is impose yourself on the opponent, play the game at a really quick tempo. Chekvedadze looking to flick the ball out to Asprilla, didn't quite have enough on it, and Asprilla desperate to try and keep the ball in play, but unable to do so. Freckleton doing well in the midfield. Sirialta's gone down. I think the referee's just played on there. He's thought about stopping it. Deli Basharou for the Hornets. Livermore. On the right-hand side, just over the halfway line, is Asprilla. Now in the centre circle, it's Kone. Livermore pings the ball out to Martins, who hardly had to move as the ball fell onto his foot. Here's Martins now, cuts inside Shackelford. Livermore, Watford, after that spell for Chesterfield, Watford just trying to assert their authority on the game again, but that's a wayward pass and the ball's played to Horton. His touch was a little bit heavy, but he did well to keep the move going. Dobra now just outside the penalty area for the Spyrights, back to Horton, just has to drag himself back out to the corner flag to keep possession. It's with Freckleton now, halfway line. Chesterfield not afraid to go back towards their own goal. Oldacre, Banks now, tried to slip the ball through, and Morris did well just to stick a leg out, and Hoot can bring it forward on the left hand side. Martins out to Deli Basharou, keeps the ball in play on the right, just short of the halfway line. Livermore in possession, still awaiting the first goal on Three Counties Sport. Paul Dixon and the former Watford midfielder Derek Payne with you this afternoon. Ball played forward towards Healy, could have possibly strayed offside there, and he's got a clatter and a free kick. It's a fair way out, probably 40 yards. That was a poor touch from Healy actually, and in fact the challenge didn't need to be made because the touch was so heavy it took it to a Chesterfield player.
Yeah, but the good thing with that move that we just see there is they're playing a high line, Chesterfield. Their back line, they're being brave. They want to condense the play, so they're quite high, and it's been crying out for a Watford player to run in behind, and Healy does that, but the ball is just under hit from Hoyt, and then he has to come back, gets a touch, and he's going away from goal. But there's something Watford have got to look at, because Chesterfield are playing a really high line. They need to make a few more runs in behind. Maybe go a bit longer than what they're doing so far, Watford. But Healy is looking to do that now.
I think Chekvedadze is eyeing this up. He is a long way out. Kone's there as well. Chekvedadze's got that look in his eyes, but instead he plays it in towards the back post, and it's headed wide of goal for a corner. He wasn't looking at the ball like he was just going to caress it into the penalty area there. I thought he was going to have a go, even though it was, some distance out, and then he just kind of dinked it into the box. Yeah,
it's a bit of disguise there, definitely from Chekvedadze, that he disguised it. And they get a corner from it. It weren't a great ball in because it was chipped. It didn't have no pace on it, but they get a corner from it. Can they do something with that?
The aforementioned Chekvedadze is about to take the corner, but for the moment, referee Gavin Ward wants to just assert his authority over one or two. Jake Livermore is being spoken to, as is Wesley Hoot. A couple of Chesterfield players as well. Ash Palmer is one of them. The referee's happy, and they go back to pushing and shoving, and as the ball's played in from Chekvedadze, two Chesterfield players got in each other's way there, but there must have been a push maybe in the back, because the referee...
Ball might have gone out, Paul, I think.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. I think the ball's gone out, which is, it's an out swinger, and it shouldn't. It's poor. You got to put them under a bit of pressure from set pieces. So not good enough delivery in. But yeah, Chesterfield are doing really, really well. Watford have to do better for me. They got to move the ball quicker. They got to start trying to get in behind Chesterfield's back line. They're really high up the pitch, that back line, and Watford want to continue to go sideways, backwards now and again. They've got to look to put the ball in behind.
Well, Deli Basharou there just took a throw from about a yard on the pitch. So, and Paul Cook complained when the assistant put his flag up. It's quite a bizarre 5 seconds. I'm not sure I've ever seen a throw taken further on the pitch actually, but the assistant got it right, gave the throw in the other way to Chesterfield, and the ball is played forward to the halfway line, and Tom Naylor, who helped Chesterfield to that 3-2 victory on New Year's Day, scoring in the 3-2 comeback win. He takes the free kick quickly. Ball played infield to Ollie Banks. Banks now halfway inside the Hornets' half. Short pass to Freckleton. Horton just turns it round the corner. Opportunity maybe for Dobra into the penalty area. Goalkeeper was a little bit short, comes in, and then it's played out for a corner. Put out for a corner by Wesley Hoot. What was Bachmann doing though? Surely he had the opportunity there to come and collect that ball. It's a corner to Chesterfield.
Well, it's the goalkeeper here has to come and get the ball, and he doesn't, and that allows Chesterfield to get the ball back across the pitch. Fortunately, Wes Hoyt's there to defend it, but it's poor from Daniel Bachmann. Hasn't played for a while, bit rusty.
Ball played in then from the corner. It's punched up in the air by Bachmann as the rain starts to fall at Vicarage Road. Mandeville just steps back, finds Dobra. Chesterfield have options in the penalty area, and they'll stay forward for a second consecutive corner, roared on by 4,000 Chesterfield supporters. Watford 0, Chesterfield 0. FA Cup third round on Three Counties Sport. Watford have lost at this stage 4 seasons in a row. Looking to avoid a 5th today. Ball played in then from the corner for the Spyrites. It's a deep one towards the back post. Headed away, cleared rather by Watford. It's a bit of a spinner up towards Martins. Difficult one to control. He hasn't been able to do so. The ball comes out to Oldacre on the left-hand side. Now Mandeville. Mandeville slips the ball in. It's an easy one just for Espria to take off his toes. But Chekvadadze's lost possession. Mandeville. Space for Horton. Into the penalty area, cleared not well though. Opportunity again for Chesterfield, and they're hanging on a little bit here, Watford. It's another corner.
Yeah, and what inspiring for Chesterfield is they got that big support behind them, 4,000 of them, and that's lifting them as well. But they've been excellent. They've been probably the better team in these opening 20 minutes, and they're playing some good stuff, and they've got Watford on the back foot.
Corner then. Third in quick succession. Another deep one towards Banks at the far post. Heads it into the 6-yard area. It's headed away by the captain Wesley Hoot, but it's going to be a throw.
Yeah, I don't think the manager Paul Cook was too happy with the delivery. Like you said, Paul, it's gone back post 3 times. I think they wanted that one to go a little bit more towards the goalkeeper. They were going mad, but you know they've shown they're not here to defend. They've shown they've come here to show everyone what a good team they are, Chesterfield, and Watford need to respond, need to start getting a bit of a more control of this game. And like I said, put a couple of balls in behind, because Watford are just playing in front of Chesterfield, and Chesterfield are quite comfortable with that.
I mean, Rhys Healy's not had anything, has he, really? 22 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Chesterfield 0. Paul Dixon and Derek Payne with you this afternoon as Watford look to progress to the 4th round. Martins comes forward down the left-hand side, cuts in field, plays it in towards Healy, but it's taken off his toes. I think that might be a corner for the Hornets. Put out of play by Tom Naylor. Two sides exchanging set pieces at the moment. Watford with Georgi Chekvadadze have this corner from the left-hand side. Watford have got 8 outfield players in the penalty area. Only Deli Basharou and James Morris outside the penalty area. It's played in now, 6-yard box, and it's all the way across. About 5 players ended up in a heap on the floor there on the edge of the 6-yard area, but the upshot is a goal kick to the Spyrites.
Yeah, it was a good delivery because it was whipped in from Chekvadadze. And he's whipped it in, and then all the players go for it, and the referees give a foul because Watford players fouling Chesterfield players. But better delivery in, better set piece from Watford.
Ball played forward for Chesterfield. Touch there from Siriauta, just allowed Livermore to take it away from Dobra. Ball is with, well, neither side at the moment. neither team can get hold of it properly. Siriauta does eventually, but then he gives it away, and Chesterfield can clear up to the halfway line. Banks with a slightly unconventional hook into the centre circle. Watford have it with Chekvadadze out to the right hand side and Espria. Watford 0, Chesterfield 0. Just over the halfway point of the first half. Ball out towards Martins, but intercepted by Shackelford. Martins wins it back. Chekfadadze has it to the left of the centre circle. No one around him. Plays it back to Wesley Hoot now. Scored that goal of a lifetime against Hull to win the points on Humber side, of course. Captain in the side, and the ball is back with Bachmann, who's given the ball away there. So Horton heads it forward for Chesterfield. Dobra has it, looking to turn away from Sirial to Watford in a real game here, you know, against the league leaders in the National League. 62 places between them, though, in the football pyramid. You wouldn't know it. It's 0-0, and the ball's back with Paul Cook's side on the halfway line, but given away. Shackelford, Kone into the penalty area now. Chance for Watford, saved by the legs of the goalkeeper. Martins heads it towards goal, and it's saved by Ryan Boot, falling back towards goal and gratefully grabbing the ball there. Watford should be a goal up.
Yeah, huge mistake from the centre half, Freckleton. He's round the halfway line, he's got his head up, he's looking to play a pass, taking too long. Kone takes it off him, and he's running him through onto the goalkeeper. Freckleton's chasing him down. Goalkeeper does well because he stays big. The goalkeeper's called a boot, and he stays big and does really well. And Freckleton, who made a brilliant interception earlier in the game off of Sprea, will be thankful to his goalkeeper for getting him out of trouble there. Must say, Kone is going in on goal, and the keeper does really well because he stays upright and narrows the angle quite well. But Kone will be disappointed because one-on-one going through should do better.
Sirialta plays it out to the left-hand side, and Morris. It's back with Bachmann, and he's put the ball out of play. His distribution this afternoon has been very poor, Daniel Bachmann.
Well, I don't know if he's got a friend in the crowd, but he keeps hitting it towards the same area of the pitch, which he's trying to hit the right back. And in his defence, look, he hasn't played for a while, but he trains every day, so it shouldn't be as bad as what it has been.
Foul pushing the back of Darren Oldacre. Plenty of FA Cup matches have already been played. Thursday was the first game, of course. Today, AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich 3. There's a full-time score. Coventry beat Oxford by 6-2. Maidstone, with the result of the round so far, the lowest ranked team in the competition, progressed, beating Stevenage by 1-0. Millwall 2, Leicester 3. And in the Tyne Weir derby at the Stadium of Light, it finished Sunderland 0, Newcastle United 3. Dobra coming forward in the centre circle for Chesterfield, who are looking for a shock of their own here this afternoon. Good turn there by Dobra, halfway inside the Hornets' half. 27 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Goalless, but Chesterfield comes forward with Banks. Banks has to go back. Watford have got everybody behind the ball, though, and Chesterfield have got it with Mandeville. Slip pass forward, kept in play. Ball comes in, it's going to be 1-0 to Chesterfield. Quigley heads it in. 28 minutes played at Vicarage Road. The non-league side are ahead against the championship team. It's Quigley with the easiest goal he'll ever score, surely. Heads it in from 4 yards out. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1.
Yeah, and you can't say they haven't deserved it. They've been excellent, Chesterfield, in these opening 27 minutes, apart from 2 defensive errors. But going forward, they've been excellent. The movement's been good. They get round the outside of Watford, very clever. Shackelford, the right back, who's done really well on Martins, gets to the byline, and then it's a sensible ball back across towards the back post, and Quigley in between the posts, at the back post, can't miss, just got to head it down, and he does that comfortably. Don't know where the marking is, but you can't say they haven't deserved it. They, for me, Watford have been way too deep, too passive, and been playing in front of Chesterfield. But credit to Chesterfield, it's a well-worked goal. Down to the byline, get round the outside of your opponent, pull the ball back to the back stick, and hope your centre forward's there, and he is there. And Quigley tucks it away very nicely. So this could be the wake-up call that Watford needed, because They haven't been very good, Watford, in this opening 28 minutes.
Watford in possession now, approaching the halfway line. Flicked away by Brandon Horton. Three divisions and 62 places separate these two sides. But it's the side top of the National League that lead, but they're trying to change that now. Checkvadadze, keeper should get that. He has to head it away. An opportunity maybe for a header from Healy, who tries to direct it towards goal. The keeper's watching it run out of play. A roar from the Chesterfield supporters. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. Half an hour played.
At least Checkvadadze's tried to run him behind there. Finally, Watford are trying to have read that Chesterfield playing high up the pitch. Ball was too heavy and the keeper does well. His starting position's really good there, Boot. He's having a good first half. But you can hear the Chesterfield fans. They're delighted with what they're seeing. And you can't hear the Watford fans because I don't think they're too happy with what they're seeing. And that's not because the goal's just gone in. That's the overall picture of this first 29 minutes.
Martin in possession right by his own penalty area, who is in his own penalty area, and puts the ball out of play. We quite often in games like this that are going like this use the old, if you were new to football or you didn't know where these, but you really would. I mean, I'm struggling and I know exactly where these two sides lie in the Football League.
Yeah, no, yeah.
One of them isn't even in the Football League, and yet Chesterfield are quite comfortably the best side, and they're coming forward now. Banks plays it in field. Opportunity for Dobra. Horton screaming for it on the left-hand side. He was the outball, but it's still with Chesterfield. It's played back by Oldacre.
But they're popping it around in midfield, and Watford's defence are so deep that Watford's midfield can't get close to them, and they got to. And I just see Ismail, the manager's telling his defence to get up the pitch. It can't sit so deep. Any team will pass it around you, and that's what Chesterfield are doing. The three in midfield are having a field day because Watford's defence is so deep.
Deli Basharou to Checkvadadze, right hand side, just 5 or 6 yards from the Watford penalty area is Wesley Hoot. Out to Morris now on the left hand side. 32 minutes played on Three Counties Sport, BBC Three Counties Radio. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. Joe Quigley with his 8th goal of the season is the difference between the two sides at the moment, and Chesterfield are coming forward with Oldacre on the left hand side. He's got Horton on the overlap. He's found his way past Aspria, whose only option really is to just drag him down. Bit of a shirt pull there and a free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, and Oldacre's just sitting in the middle of the pitch, very calm when the ball comes to him, keeps the ball well. And then they get the two wingers coming inside. They've got the fullbacks going outside. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very well organised, and they're all comfortable on the ball. But also, if Watford are going to be so deep, it's nice and easy for their midfield to get on the ball and play the ball around.
And the ball comes towards the back post. It's into the hands of Backman. He bowls it out quickly. Martins over the halfway line. He's not got a lot of support at the moment. Aspria's desperately trying to keep track with Martins. Martins has got 3 Chesterfield players around him, and as such they probably didn't need to foul Martins, and then it kicks off slightly on the left hand side. The referee races over. Martins has won the free kick. Would probably do well to just walk away from it. The referee's having a little word with Shackelford.
Yeah, and that comes from a counter-attack for Watford, you know, and that's what we're looking at the moment. Chesterfield dominating the ball the longer the half's gone on. Martins, though, he could be key one-on-ones. Him and Aspria, like I said earlier, them one-on-ones, they've got to do things. He gets a free kick for his team. Can they get something from it?
Checkvadadze then. As the Hornets look to restore order at Vicarage Road. A goal down. Referee just wanted to make sure there was nothing going on. Ball played in. It's a Ball played straight into the goalkeeper's hands, who bowls it out, and they've got 3-on-3 here. Banks plays it out, it's a bit wide for Dobra. Watford are getting players back. Dobra has it. Halfway inside the Watford half is Oldacre. Exchanges passes with Horton. Momentum from that lost by the slightly wayward pass there from Ollie Banks, but Chesterfield still have it, and they've worked it to Banks, who switched flanks for now. Played into space for Horton. First time ball into the penalty area. Laid off almost to Dobra there, who wasn't, I don't think, quite on the same wavelength as Quigley.
Nice football from him again.
Yeah, Chesterfield almost give the ball away again though, as they go back to goalkeeper Ryan Boot. Freckleton just managing to get enough on it, and Hoot plays it short to Morris. He almost gives the ball away, but gets the lucky bounce there. Back to him. Backman's under a bit of pressure here from Quigley, but clears his lines. Horton was beaten to it there by Aspria. Sirialta infield to Jake Livermore inside his own half. Deli Basharou. Two, three Chesterfield players around him, and a fairly obvious free kick there, barged into by Naylor. Deli Basharou takes it quickly. Kone to Aspria on the right hand side, drifts in field along the halfway line. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. Lack of movement from the Hornets. Sirialta given away by the Chilean. Naylor has it back to Shackelford. Now Mandeville down the right hand side. Goal scorer Joe Quigley turns away from trouble, but then almost presents his team with a problem, but he got caught as he laid the ball off, and it's a free kick to Chesterfield. Those Chesterfield fans to our right hand side must be absolutely loving this. That lost just 3 out of 25 National League matches, and they're a goal up at Championship Watford on their own patch. Banks, Chekvedadze with him, back to the halfway line. Ball played between two Chesterfield players there by Oldacre. I mean, when I started watching FA Cup matches, and you got those non-league games against what would have been first division, second division teams, it was always the non-league team had two huge centre halves, a massive centre forward. They just absolutely kick lumps out of the pros, as it were. And Chesterfield come forward though. None of that today with Chesterfield. Horton plays the ball into the penalty area. It's going to be cleared by Livermore. Chekvedadze picks up the play inside his own half. Plays the ball forward, right hand side. Aspria's onto this. He's got some space, controls it just about. Running at Freckleton, ball into the penalty area, headed away. Chesterfield with Dobra under pressure from Deli Basharou, and cleared down the left hand side. So Chekvedadze nods it back to Hoot, but it wasn't it? It was just lump it forward and just try and put the professional team, as it would have been then, off their game. Yeah,
and things have changed a lot, haven't they? I mean, there is a difference nowadays. They are full time. Back in them days, they wouldn't be full time. So Martin's coming forward down the left hand side. He's got a little bit of room into the penalty area. Healy's got his back to goal, having to come outside the area. Kone struggles to get the ball under control initially, and then commits a foul as he just overplayed it, and he will be the first player to go into the book. Yellow card for Ismail Kone. Yeah, he just has a touch on the edge of the box, looking to repeat what he done at Plymouth on New Year's Day by cutting inside and going for a shot, but his touch was heavy, and Naylor comes in, just takes it from him, and the follow-through gets Kone a yellow card. He can't argue about that. Yeah, but back to the old days, they are professional nowadays. In them days they weren't, and obviously the football's changed as well a lot, hasn't it? And it's good to see Paul Cook, good footballer in his time, good player and a good manager as well, and his teams always will try and play football, and we've seen them playing that today. A lot of triangles, but what I will say is any team can play when the other team are off it as much as Watford are, and I'm sure Ismail, the manager, I'm surprised. He could be making us up before half-time, but I think he's going to wait till half-time. He's either going to let go with his mouth at half-time, or there'll be subs.
Ball into the Chesterfield penalty area. That was a really good covering challenge from Horton, because Asprilla was racing onto that at the back post. Keeper wasn't sure. Ryan Boot started and stopped again, but Brandon Horton did extremely well. The ball nodded forward for Chesterfield by Oldacre in the centre circle. Dobra, he's been impressive today, but plenty of them have. Freckleton plays the ball forward for Oldacre. Quigley's in the penalty area. He's the difference between the two sides, Joe Quigley. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1 on Three Counties Sport. As Oldacre looks to try and squeeze his way through, but that will be a Watford throw. Not too many surprises other than here. In the other FA Cup 3 o'clock kickoffs, Blackburn 2, Cambridge 2. Sheffield United are beating Gillingham. Birmingham a goal up against Hull. Newport and Eastleigh's goalless. Norwich 1, Bristol Rovers 1. Plymouth Argyle leads Sutton United by a goal to nil. QPR and Bournemouth are goalless. Southampton lead Walsall 1-0. Stoke likewise against Brighton. So that's a bit of a surprise, actually. Stoke from the Championship leading Brighton from the Premier League, of course. 5 minutes to the break. Luke Ashmead will take you through half time, and then 5:05 as it's given away again by Watford. Dobra fouled by Chekmadadze. Free kick.
Well, Martin's there. He's got the ball in his own half. He hasn't even looked and just played it across the pitch straight to Dobra, who's a very good player for Chesterfield. But what I was kind of half not laughing at a little bit, getting a bit sarcastic, but I think the manager of Watford, if he could change 8, 9, he would probably do that with the performances we've seen here. And that's taking nothing away from Chesterfield, because they have been excellent. They have been outstanding. The movement, the passing, good footballers.
Oldacre now plays the ball out to Horton, left hand side of the penalty area, played into the edge of the 6-yard box and away by Sirialta. Now Asprilla comes forward, cuts in between two Chesterfield defenders. Healy now, that good play from Healy, because he was second favourite to take that. It's in the centre circle with Kone. Watford looking to try and get themselves back on level terms before the break, but they won't do it with that ball played forward. It's a good challenge from Hoop, but offside against Martins.
Yeah, and if you look at it, if we're being totally honest, up to this minute now, the only 2 chances Watford had in the first half have come from mistakes from Chesterfield, not from Watford's play.
Yeah, there's 2 back passes, wasn't there? One from Freckleton, I think, and one from Horton.
Yeah.
Both straight into the path of Watford players.
And that kind of sums up what we're watching, isn't it? Watford haven't created nothing. I think they're not being clever either, Watford. Like I keep going back, they've got a high line, Chesterfield. No one wants to run in behind. And when the opposition are playing a high line, just run in behind now and again.
Horton plays the ball to Dobra. Dobra's looking for space. He plays it back to Naylor. Shot comes in from Banks. It's pushed away by Backman. Chesterfield will keep the ball in play. Dobra, left-hand side of the penalty area. Opportunity for Oldacre, a little back heel. And a foul on the edge of the penalty area by Tom Naylor and a free kick to Watford.
And it's Healy. It's on Watford's edge of the box. Healy's had to do that tackle. That's how much Chesterfield have forced Watford back. Watford's centre forward is in just outside his own box. You want your midfielders doing that, but Healy is trying. You mentioned it before the game. Is he over trying? But just a little bit too clever there, Chesterfield. But again, good football from them to get themselves into that last third.
Sirialta, Deli Basharu cuts in field away from Dobra. Slips the ball forward now to Chekmadadze, who stays on side. He's into the penalty area. Covering challenge is a good one from Freckleton.
Yeah, it's
corner.
Better, because what Chekmadadze does there is gets him side. He tries to run in behind, and they hold their line and then he goes. So that's how they nearly get in. They get in the box. It's only because Freckleton's got a lot of pace that he gets back at Chakvedadze. But that's the way Watford can get in. Clever runs, just timing the run and just getting in behind that back line.
Ball played in then from the corner, flick to the edge of the penalty area. Morris plays it back out to Chakvedadze, who keeps the ball in play. It's cleared by Chesterfield. Martins has it halfway inside the Watford half, but the Chesterfield half. It's played back to Morris. Final minute of the first half at Vicarage Road. Chesterfield leading by a goal to nil, and Martins takes it down. He's got Chakvedadze on the overlap. Instead he comes in field and plays just an awful ball into the penalty area, and Ryan Boot picks up. And Watford fans have been fairly patient, Derek, for 44 minutes, but that was the tipping point.
Yeah, I mean, Martin, he's come off the line, he's cut inside, and you can see what he's trying to do, just put the ball in behind the back line, but the way he's hit it is so casual, and then he's overhit, so doesn't look good, and he's done that a couple of times in this half, and that's lapse of concentration for me.
Banks and Hoot pushing and pulling, and I mean, if anything, Hoot just pushed his head into Banks a little, just that gesture rather stupidly when the referee was called over.
Daniel Bachmann, this is outside the box. Daniel Bachmann is out there. I know he's taking on responsibility, but he just let the players get on with it. Daniel Bachmann doesn't need to be out there at all. He was sent off for this a couple months ago, so, but didn't see the incident, did you, Paul? I think I see that there. Banks says that Hoyt used his head, so, but I think the ref's going to be sensible here.
Yeah, I saw that was right at the end, whatever started it, and then well, they both get booked, but they just have a look here. Yeah, it was I'll tell you what, Hoot's a little bit lucky actually, because he swings an elbow there. It feels like maybe they were having a bit of an argument who's got the best ponytail. It's pretty even, if I'm honest. I don't think either of them should be getting too upset about it. It's almost identical ponytails, so if that's what it was about. Both booked, not for having a ponytail. The ball is with Watford. They almost give the ball away though. Deli Basharou, he will give the ball away. Banks with the challenge. 2 minutes of added time. We're already into that as we welcome back listeners on 98 FM. Burton against Wickham. It's Watford 0, Chesterfield 1 at Vicarage Road, as a throw for Watford puts Asprilla free, and once again he just allows the challenge to come in. I think there Freckleton, that's a decent challenge from Miguel Freckleton, but I just feel that happened a couple of minutes ago when he was free, just pushing the ball slightly too far ahead of him and allowing the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Freckleton has shown good pace, but exactly like you said, the first touch from Asprilla should be ahead of him, not to the side.
Chakvedadze with the corner, and it comes. Chesterfield awkwardly get the ball away, and then it's hooked clear. Deli Basharou, we've had the 2 minutes. There'll be a little bit more though due to that clash with Hoyt and Banks, but not too much more, and a chorus of boos around Vicarage Road at half-time from three sides of the ground, but the 4,000 Spyrites are in wonderful voice. They've seen their side deservedly lead at the break through Joe Quigley. It was Shackelford's cross from the byline into the penalty area from Mandeville's ball, and Quigley had the fairly simple task to nod the ball in from 4 yards out. It's half-time, and Derek, they deserve it.
They definitely deserve it. The support they've got behind them has been superb for them, but their performance on that pitch, them players for Chesterfield, has been outstanding, playing really nice football, getting triangles all over the pitch, and what, they can't have no complaints, Watford. You never like to hear the boos from the fans, the home fans, but I think in this case it's warranted. Chesterfield have been excellent. Watford haven't. Watford have been really poor. They haven't understood the game either. Chesterfield, the one thing I would put against Chesterfield is they are playing a high line, which is good to see, but sometimes it's dangerous, and Watford haven't capitalised on that at all. And Chesterfield deserves all the plaudits in that first half. They've been the better side. I'd love to see the possession stats. We'll probably get them sometime. But they've had as much of the ball as Watford, or close to it, and they have been the better team. So things will be said at half-time. I wouldn't be surprised if there's quite a few changes, or definitely changes from Watford's point of view. Watford can't be any worse than what they've been in that first half, and all we can say is 1-0 is a fair reflection of the game, and Watford can't have no complaints. They've been second best all over the pitch today.
Half-time then, Joe Quigley's 8th goal of the season. The team from the National League are beating the team from the Championship at half-time. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1.
Thanks, Paul and Derek. Let's find out what's been happening in our other featured game this afternoon over on 98 FM. Half-time in League One. Barton are playing, and I'll give their half-time score in a moment, Barton Rovers. Burton against Wickham, Sam Avery.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the pitch will be too dissimilar to Barton Rovers' pitch, because it's very boggy, very muddy here at the Pirelli, as it often is, especially with the recent rainfall, and that's made for a scrappy game. 0-0 at half-time, and not really too much goal-mouth action at either end. Wickham took a while to adjust to the conditions and started knocking the ball about after 10 minutes or so. Dale Taylor on his old stomping ground, heading wide early on for Wickham with a near-post flick on, but Burton Albion have probably come closest to opening the scoring. A Ryan Sweeney flick-on header was blocked on the line, and then Sam Hughes on the rebound volleyed wide. Hoping for more quality in the second half though from both sides. Burton Albion 0, Wickham 0 at half time.
Cheers, Sam. Let me just run through the half-time scores up and down the country. FA Cup kind of dominating. There were some early kick-offs today in the third round. AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich 3 full-time. These are full-time. Coventry 6, Oxford 2, Maidstone 1, Stevenage 0. Reaction to come in just a moment from Steve Evans on Stevenage going out to the lowest ranked side in the FA Cup. And they're still in the FA Cup, on Maidstone United. Millwall 2, Leicester 3, Sunderland 0, Newcastle 3. These are half times then in the 3 o'clock FA Cup third round games. Blackburn Rovers 3, Cambridge 2, Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 2, Hull 0, Birmingham 1. It's 0-0 between Newport and Eastleigh. Norwich 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Plymouth 1, Sutton 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1, Walsall 0, Stoke City 1, Brighton 0, and of course Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. Evening kickoffs are Chelsea against Preston North End, Middlesbrough against Aston Villa, Sheffield Wednesday against Cardiff, and Swansea against Morecambe. In League One, obviously it's 0-0 between Burton and Wickham. Full-time score from earlier: Fleetwood 1, Derby 3. Half-times in League One: Cheltenham 0, Portsmouth 0, Exeter 0, Carlisle 0, and Port Vale 1, Charlton 1. That's the latest score. That's pretty much coming up to half time now. And just a few games in League 2, and I'll run through the non-league scores in just a moment as well. Half time in League 2: Barrow 0, Tranmere 0, Bradford 0, Crawley 1, Mansfield 0, Crewe 1, Salford City 1. Carl Robinson, of course, in charge, former MK Dons manager of Salford. Forest Green Rovers 1, so that's 1-1 there. Swindon 2, Colchester 1. Non-league scores on their way.
Whatever it is I've done to you, I probably deserve it. I've done some bad things.
On BBC iPlayer.
For all it hurts, you can't remember me. Maybe it's just as well.
Maybe it's time you find out who you really are.
Some things are best left buried.
Just tell me what you want!
Wherever he is, I think that he's in trouble.
We will find your man, okay?
What is it that I've done that makes me the enemy?
The Tourist.
You may not remember, but I do.
Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Let's get reaction from Stevenage going out of the FA Cup to Maidstone United. Not the result Steve Evans was hoping for this afternoon. Let's find out what he's had to say. He's been talking to Steve Watkins.
Steve, I guess you're the first to congratulate Maidstone, but I would imagine you're an angry man.
Yeah, very much so. I've just been in the dressing room. My words to them is that they've been an absolute credit to the football club, credit to themselves, and I hope they get their ample rewards in the draw. I really do. For us, I don't think we gave enough respect on the pitch. Not meaningfully, but I don't think we gave enough respect first half. Certainly Maidstone looked the better team than us in the first half. I don't know if it's a penalty. It certainly looks a penalty, but I need to look at it back. And then second half, you give them something to hold on to, and you cannot miss the simplest of chances you can imagine that we make here today. You cannot imagine that you don't take 1 or 6 or 7, but we didn't. So congratulations to George and Maidstone and the new owners that are in recently and all that stuff. So good luck to them.
What's the thought of the team about the penalty?
I think the penalty's thinking that Louis won the ball, but that's what players would always say, innit? We need to look at it in the cold light of day and look at it back. There's 2 incidents to look at. There's the one that TVC comes out just slightly before. I don't think that is for sure. And then the second one, I can't possibly say Steve Zamelli, but the one thing you do as a manager, you never believe players when they tell you they never feel something in the penalty box. So, but he goes down and the referee gives it. But, second half, we cannot have all that dominance, all that play, all that forward momentum, all those chances. I can't believe we've missed 4 or 5 of them, but we have, so we pay the price.
There's so many chances, and ones that every other Saturday you see at least 1 or 2 of those going in.
Yeah, I've got a little grandson who's coming up in 3. He'd have took 1 or 2 of them when he in front of goal, and the bobbling across the line, and we somehow put it onto the post or past the post or onto the bar. But we have to live with this now. We've been on the opposite end of it, so we'll go away and we'll go back on the training ground and we'll forget about the FA Cup. It's not a cliche, can't think about it because we're out it. I certainly hope these guys at Maidstone get the rewards with the draw, and then we'll get back in training ground and prepare to go to Shrewsbury.
Can certainly make you more focused now.
Well, listen, there's always been a focus in the league action, and I'm not one of those nuggets who talks about it doesn't matter if you've got the FA Cup. We've got out to an upset today. I think it's harsh. If you look at the totality of the game and you look at the chances made and missed and all that, it's very harsh. They probably have 1 chance. We have off the line from the skipper in the second half. We have off the bar twice. We have a couple of blocks on the line. And I don't know how we missed 3 of them. But when you have a day like that, I think when Kane Hemmings missed a chance at the far stick, I thought we'd never score for a month. Because I think if we can't score those chances and then it capitalises with that last one, you look to the gods. But, not to be. It'll hurt for more than just 24 hours for sure.
You've not spoken about the official.
No, listen, I don't think we get many 50-50s from Stephen today, but I've just been in to thank him. What area complaint did a half 4 minutes at the end? We've got goalkeeper down for 2.5 minutes, we get a number of subs. But I just said to him, I'm nitpicking. He's an experienced official, Craig Hicks, experienced fourth. I've got no complaints with the officials today, none. They were, if we had that level of official every week for the last 10 weeks, we'd have a lot more points, wouldn't we? I wish we'd have had him at Fratton Park.
There we go, Steve Evans. Shock horror. Steve Evans says the officiating was okay today, but Stevenage, no joking aside, out at the hands of Maidstone United. That's the first real shock of today. Will there be any more on the cards? Well, yes, there is one on the cards at the moment. Chesterfield are beating Watford at Vicarage Road. Elsewhere in our non-league scene, full-time score from earlier, National League North, Bishop Stortford 1, Blythe Spartans 3, that's full-time. These are all half-time scores. In National League South, St Albans 0, Farnborough 0, Chippenham Town 0, Hemel Hempstead 2. Southern League Premier South, Beaconsfield 2, Swindon Supermarine 1, Didcot 1, Chesham 1. In Southern League Premier Central, it's 0-0 in both games. Berkhamsted against Leamington and Royston against AFC Sudbury. Cheshant are losing at home against Hastings United by 3-1. And in Southern Division 1 Central, it's AFC Dunstable 3, Hertford 1, Aylesbury United 2, Stopfold 2, Barton Rovers 0, Northley 1. See, I promised you a Barton Rovers half-time score. Cirencester Town 0, Kings Langley 1. Waltham Abbey 0, Leighton 1, and in Southern Division 1 Central, those post-bow games were Biggleswade against Welland, Biggleswade Town against Kempston Rovers, and Kidlington against Bedford Town. In Isthmian Premier, Pottersbar Town against Carl Shelton was postponed. Slightly less postponements than I was imagining, actually. And in Isthmian South Central, half-time Uxbridge 1, Marlow 3. You're listening to Three Counties Sport on BBC Three Counties Radio. Back with our second half very shortly. First, let's get the latest travel news across Beds, That's Hearts and Bucks. Here's Jonathan.
And starting in the Hadley Wood area, there's slow traffic on the A111. That's southbound between the M25 at junction 24 for Potters Bar down to Chalk Lane. South Oxley area, it's queuing on Eastbury Road. That's as you head east, where it meets Pinner Road for the Bushy Arches. Into the Watford area, and it's queuing in the roadworks on the A411 Waterfront Way. That's southbound around Waterfield Shopping Park. Into the Edgware area, and it's queuing in the roadworks on the A41 Edgware Way. That's in both directions near the A410 Spur Road. In the Hitchin area, it's queuing on the A505 Offley Road. That's as you head east before the A602 Parkway. And onto the trains. Well, there's no service on London North Eastern Railways, Great Northern and Thameslink. That's out of King's Cross, all due to engineering works. That's also affecting services across most of the network. The advice is to check before you travel, and if you know of a problem that we're not reporting and it's safe and legal to do so, you can call Three Counties now on 08081 008800.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Second half to come in all our featured games this afternoon. Very shortly we'll split our frequencies again. It's Three Counties Sport, Saturday afternoon. Luke Ashmead in the hot seat.
Can keep my hands on myself. Pick up, dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Kiss my little baby girl is in need. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Got another mouth to feed. Leave it with the babies till the mama call the grave digger. Gone with the fallen leaves. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might have had your fill, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, I feel it still. We could fight a war for peace. Giving
Feel it still, Portugal the man will have to be cut short because the players are coming out in our games this afternoon. It's time to re-split our frequencies. If you want to see if Championship Watford can turn it around against non-league Chesterfield, that game on all frequencies, including Listen Live this afternoon. If League One is more your style, Burton against Wickham on 98 FM. 2 games, and the choice is all yours. Yes, it is. It's absolutely all yours. And a reminder, a little bit later on, you can have your say on Three Counties Sport. 81333, start your message with 3CR, and you can tweet at BBC Sport 3CR.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
So back at Vicarage Road then, Watford have 45 minutes to try and make sure they don't go the way of Stevenage earlier in the day. Stevenage losing to Maidstone in a 12:30 kick-off in Kent. Watford are also losing to National League opposition this afternoon. Chesterfield lead the Hornets by a 1-0. And Derek Payne, who is alongside me today, still waiting for Valerian Ismail to... Well, here we go. Watford are coming out now, and I mean, if he hasn't had he's close to giving them a rocket, as he probably has all season, because I mean, we're going to see a substitution, at least one as well. But yeah, he has to have, you feel, had some words, because it's just Chesterfield were good, but Watford were terrible.
Yeah, I think it's not because they are 1-0 ahead. They played well, Chesterfield, but you've got to look at your team's first half. You've got to look at your own side, and Watford haven't been good enough. Like I mentioned before, in the first half they've had 2 opportunities which were from mistakes from Chesterfield. They weren't from good play from Watford. So he has to try and address that. He's made 1 substitution, which I'm sure he was tempted to make more, but he's brought Ryan Andrews on to go right back, looks like Kone's been the one that's been took off, and Deli Bashir, who's gone into midfield. So, but I'm sure he could have had 3 or 4 that he thought he could have took off, but Kone's been the one he sacrificed. I thought it might have been more subs, but I'm sure words were said, and I'm sure he'll be looking for an instant response. And that, what I mean by that is early on in this second half, he'll be looking for his team to start taking control of this game.
We are off and underway then in the second half. Watford kicking towards, from right to left as we look. In the Sir Elton John stand. The ball is with Chesterfield early on. Ollie Banks back to the halfway line. Forward by Ash Palmer. Shackelford. Ball finds its way out to Liam Mandeville. Now Shackelford, ball played in, shot palmed away by Bachmann. Another opportunity maybe. Horton on the edge of the penalty area. Good defending from Aspria, but Chesterfield still have it. Dobra looking to get away from Andrews. Still going right on the touchline on the left-hand side. Plays it back to Oldacre. Well, we talk about an instant response from Watford, but Chesterfield almost 2-0 up there.
Yeah, they work in an overload. They know that Watford wingers won't track back, so they're getting overloads in their wide areas, Chesterfield, and that's where the chance come from. That's where the goal come from. Great save from Daniel Bachmann.
Martins on the left-hand side with the ball from Livermore. Chekvedadze back to Morris. Good triangle there, but they overplay it, and Banks can come forward. He's only got one blue shirt ahead of him, Quigley, and he's slightly fortunate to retain possession. Plays it down the right-hand side. That wasn't fortunate. That was a good ball to Mandeville now. He's got 2 Watford players with him. Plays a ball into the centre. Opportunity maybe for Quigley. He's got Watford players ahead of him, but he's played it into space for Mandeville. Mandeville tries to just bulldozer his way between 2 Watford players and comes unstuck. The ball's cleared by Watford, but Chesterfield are first to every second ball at the moment. Banks goes down fairly easily, and Watford can come away with it. Chekvedadze, he's straight offside there, I think, but he's into the penalty area. Martins, and it's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I think he was about half a yard offside there, but Martins didn't take advantage of the official on the far side not raising the flag and just looped the ball into Ryan Boots' hands.
Yeah, well, it's an opportunity for Martins. He doesn't get the ball out of his feet. Banks tries to get a cheap foul. Watford break, counter-attack. Martins is in behind, goes into the box, but he doesn't get the ball out of his feet, so it turns out into a nothing shot.
Chekvedadze does well away from Naylor, still going. Now Healy, edge of the penalty area, fairly theatrically goes down, but it is a free kick on the edge of the D to the left-hand side.
Yeah, and Chekvedadze, who I think probably, if you most of the Watford players, has been the one who's been trying things. It might not have come off for him all in this first half. Now we're into the second half, but he's the one that's trying to make things happen. He put the ball through for Martins just a minute ago. He then is involved there, and Healy does well, gets the free kick in a very dangerous position. Watford like attacking this rookery end, and now they get an opportunity to get themselves back in the game.
A goal down the Hornets. There's 3 over this. Martins, Healy and Aspria. Martins has left the scene. It's got to be a quick up and under. Chesterfield have got a player laying down on the floor to stop the underneath the wall trick. Aspria with his left or Healy with his right. It's going to be Healy with his right foot. He does try and go through the wall. It deflects, and Bart should be put in by Sirialta, but it's cleared off the line. Ryan Boot made a bit of a hash of that, trying to get it away. Looked like a fairly routine catch for him. He tried to punch it, and Chesterfield, they haven't ridden their luck too many times this afternoon, but I think they probably did there. It remains 1-0 to Chesterfield as Hoot has the ball inside his own half, plays it across to the left-hand side, and Morris, left-footed ball back, which I don't think the manager was particularly happy with. Back to Bachmann. Morris has it again over the halfway line. Martins even to Chekvedadze. Aspria running at the defence, right-hand side, ball's played in, easy clearance, but it's a poor clearance. Asprilla with the shot, blocked. Appeals for handball from the sprawling Tom Naylor, but referee unmoved. Andrews has it on the right-hand side, plays it infield to Asprilla with a little bit of space. Asprilla plays it across to Morris. Morris now to Martins. Martins back to Morris into the penalty area. Oh, and it's hit Healy. And out of play, edge of the 6-yard box. Rhys Healy. He wasn't expecting it to go almost through. I think it went through, felt like 3 Chesterfield defenders and the on-rushing Asprilla, and it hits Healy and goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think in Healy's defence, it's gone through, like you said, Paul, a couple of players, and he can't react to it. But Watford just now showing a bit of dominance, finally, just putting a few passes together, getting Chesterfield pinned back a bit. They want to keep this going, they want to keep Chesterfield pinned back in their own half a bit.
Ball back from Freckleton to his goalkeeper. Boot over the halfway line. Bit of pushing and shoving going on between Hoot and Quigley. Chesterfield, you remember, have got their top scorer Will Grigg on the bench. 13 goals this season. Ryan Colclough is there as well. He's got 7. Both scored on Monday in the New Year's Day victory against Solihull. They're a goal up here in the National League leaders, but Watford are coming forward. Right-hand side with Asprilla, right-hand side of the penalty area. Plays it back to Ryan Andrews into Deli Basharou, who's dragged to the ground. Free kick just outside the penalty area. Heavily to the right-hand side of it, though.
Yeah, Naylor coming in, diving in. I think he's going to get a yellow card. Deli Bashar's on the edge of the box, does a nice little turn as the ball comes across. Naylor just drags him to the floor, and just seeing signs of a little bit of tiring from this Chesterfield team. That's 2 poor challenges they've given away on the edge of their box, and Watford finally getting to turn the momentum into their favour now.
Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. Wesley Hoot and Georgie Chekvedadze are over this free kick. Chesterfield wall just communicating with the goalkeeper Ryan Boot, making sure they're in the right place. 53 53 minutes played at Vicarage Road. It's going to be Hoot to try and plough it through, but the wall stands firm. Watford have it back in the centre circle. 62 places between these two sides. Watford in 10th in the Championship. Chesterfield running away with the National League title by the look of it. All played forward. These two sides haven't met since 1998 as the ball's put out of play for a throw to Chesterfield. 2 league or Division 2 matches, one early in 1998. Gifted Noel Williams with the winner up at what I'm assuming would have been Saltergate in 1998. A few months before, in September 97, Jason Lee and Ronnie Rosenthal scored as Watford won by 2-1. Chesterfield threatening to pull off one of the biggest shocks of the round. Maidstone have already beaten Stevenage, but certainly in regards to a team with a good FA Cup history, not recently Watford of course, but over the years, it would be a big shock. Livermore in possession. Out to the right-hand side, and Ryan Andrews. Plenty of time left in this game, though. 55 minutes played. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. 3 Counties Sport, BBC 3 Counties Radio. 5:05 to come at the conclusion of our 2 commentary games for you with Luke. Martins picks up on the left-hand side, cuts in field, looks for the opportunity. Deli Basharou. It's blocked by the Chesterfield defence. Once again, if ever a shot's blocked, you feel that the fans go up. Foul by Asprilla, is it? It's a free kick to Chesterfield on the left-hand side. And Watford are coming at Chesterfield more, but Chesterfield have taken 10 yards. They're defending 10 yards deeper, and I sometimes wonder whether that's the best thing to do, because they were so dominant in the first half.
Yeah.
That take 10 yards back, and they're kind of inviting Watford on a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
From Watford's point of view, that's good, but...
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Paul, and sometimes you do wonder, and Paul Cook's a very experienced manager and a wily old manager. He'll know that Watford have to come and get a goal, so they might be sitting back, just letting them come onto them, and then they're hitting them, because they are trying to get Watford on the counter-attack. They are managing the game, shall I say. And I think that would be the instruction from Paul Cook, to let Watford try and get themselves back in the game. They're going to leave themselves open, so let's be clever about how we go about our business, and that's what I think Chesterfield's up to. They're trying to be game management. That's where being Watford, you have to make sure you do things quickly, you make sure to keep the tempo high, and you don't let Chesterfield dictate the tempo of this game. And I must say, second half, Watford have been better so far. Deli Bashir has made a difference, middle of the pitch, getting himself involved. Andrew's definitely been good since he's come on. And I was questioning whether Chesterfield were tiring or whether it's like game management by them. And I think Paul Cook's probably got them to say, take no chances, sit deeper, and we'll get one on the counter-attack.
Ball forward by Wesley Hoot over the top. Headed back by Horton to his goalkeeper. Paul Cook made 6 changes to his side this afternoon. They've got a National League game on Wednesday against Gateshead, who are going well. Mandeville, right hand side, approaches the penalty area, just checks his run. He's got 2 in support of him. Ollie Banks is the preferred option. Palmer plays it to Naylor. Banks once again. Infield to Mandeville. Went over easily there, edge of the penalty area. And Hoot comes forward, plays it to Healy. This is where he likes it. Defender might just get back. Healy's got ahead of him. Right, Reece Healy. He's got support from Asprilla and a support from Martins. Martins shakes the ball into the rookery end. Asprilla was waiting.
Well, honestly, I don't want to be too critical, because it's easier sitting where we are than being down there and playing the game. But Martin's there, he's in the box, he's cut inside. If he has his head up, he can play a 5-yard ball across, and Asprilla will have a tap-in. Martins has cut inside. You can understand, he's got his head down, he wants to finish. But the passing option was the pass there, and he made the wrong decision. And that's Chesterfield left themselves wide open. I was so surprised the 2 centre-halves were split so wide, which hasn't been like them.
Watford coming forward again. Andrews on the overlap is Asprilla. Right-hand side of the penalty area, plays it all the way across, and it's an absolutely crucial interception there from Ash Palmer over the bar for a corner. Reece Healy kicks out at the post in frustration, because that would have been just a slide into the back of the net. For all Chesterfield were the better side in the first half, Watford did have 2 or 3 openings, and that was a potential another one there, but for an intervention, the ball comes in from the corner. It's over the top of everybody, picked up by James Morris, left hand side, infield to Martins. Martins to the edge of the penalty area. Asprilla, there's some space here for Chekvedadze, lifts the ball into the box towards Healy. Healy heads it, well, someone headed it away. I think Healy possibly thought there might be someone on rushing. Chesterfield struggling to get the ball away. Morris puts it into the hands of Ryan Boot, and a cheer goes up from the Chesterfield supporters, all 4,000 or so of them. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1 with an hour played.
Yeah, an encouraging thing for Watford is in this second half that they are getting more of the ball. They are creating problems for Chesterfield, and Chesterfield, we're not sure whether they're sitting on this lead or whether it's tiredness. You know, they are from the conference, Watford a championship team, so you would expect them to tie. You would expect the pace of the game to start getting to them, and gradually you feel now if Watford get one there, Watford would go on and win the game comfortably. But Chesterfield, as long as they got that lead, it's going to keep their energies going. I think Paul Cook will look to make subs soon. Naylor looks like he's struggling in midfield. The two midfielders look knackered. They look like they're really tiring, Chesterfield.
They're looking for that outlet of Reece Healey, but the ball played forward there was just ahead of him. And it's picked up by goalkeeper Ryan Boots. He bounces the ball in front of him. Just over an hour played. Three Counties Sports, two commentaries for you today. 98 FM is Burton against Wickham in League One. Everywhere else is this FA Cup third round tie, which at the moment is heading for one of the shocks of the round. Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. 5:05 with Luke to come. WhatsApp your messages, or you can phone or text. Give you those numbers if you haven't got them already in a little while. But Miguel Freckleton has gone down in his just inside his own half.
Yeah, I must say, Freckleton, not sure how old he is, but I've been impressed with him. The centre half, left footer, very quick. Sometimes he takes a chance. He did get caught, but I think he's a young man, and he's been very impressive. But he's the one who's hamstring, he looks like he's got some cramp, and I don't think they'll take chance with him, because, well, I wouldn't if I was his manager, because it's his hamstring they're trying to sort out, and it'd be a big loss for him if he has to come off, because he's been very good for him at the back, Freckleton.
Just getting to his feet. So remember, 5:05 coming up. You can tweet at BBC Sport 3CR. You can WhatsApp 0800 or 08000 in fact 321 333. You can either voice note us or message, typing 3CR in the text bar, or you can text 81333, or old school call us 08081 008800. 5:05 coming in around 45 minutes with Luke. But over the next 30 minutes or so, Championship Watford have got some work to do. Goal down against the National League leaders as the ball's with Backman, back to Hoot, under pressure from Ollie Banks. Freckleton's waiting to come back on, he's had to go off. And there's a hole in the Chesterfield defence as Asprilla comes forward down the right-hand side. Andrews almost gets in his way. I think he put Asprilla off slightly there, actually, as the ball was played to Andrews. The ball's put out of play. It comes off Andrews. That was a little bit of a mess, and it's a throw to the Spyrites.
Yeah, just, certain things, when you're watching a game, you get a feel for a game, and at the moment, Watford, just little things not going right for them. The ball not bouncing where they would want it to. There were a couple of times where it's nearly gone to Healey, where he would have a tap in. Martin should have played Asprilla, but they are building a bit of momentum here, Watford.
They've got it again with Chekvedadze, but it was over-hit. Liam Mandeville was allowed to intercept. Challenge from Morris on the throw. There's going to be a change. Michael Jacobs is going to come on for Chesterfield. Spent most of his career in the Football League. Ollie Banks will be replaced. He's had a good game. Caused Watford a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's been excellent, Ollie Banks. Really tall, physical player, but with a very nice touch and an intelligent footballer. Found nice pockets in that first half, and also in the second half. Got a nice role where he just kind of plays off the striker, and he has been excellent for him. He did look like he was tiring, and he's been having a bit of a set to with Wesley Hoyt all game, and I think he's on a yellow, so I think that comes into Paul Cook's thinking as well. But he had a very good game, did Ollie Banks there. Very good, very impressive.
Shackelford with a throw for Chesterfield. Morris wins a throw for the Hornets. It's played in field to Chekvedadze, who gives the ball away to Shackelford, and now an opportunity for Dobra. Shackelford set up the first half goal for Chesterfield. Joe Quigley's header from 4 yards on 27 minutes is still the difference between the sides as Chesterfield look for a second. 65 minutes played. Jacobs to Horton, back to Michael Jacobs. Freckleton. Triangles from Chesterfield. The ball's with Horton. Jacobs is in support. Oldecker. The ball played forward and it's put out of play. Goal kick to Watford. We've got 25 minutes plus added time to avoid a 5th consecutive third round exit. Made the final in 2019, of course, and haven't been able to win a match since.
Yeah, and then, obviously they need to start changing that, but with this game, you've got to remember Chesterfield are a successful team at the minute, winning games. They know how to win games, they know how to get over the line. I'm sure they've had to gain management in a lot of their games in the conference, and they know exactly what they are trying to do here. At times they've just kept the ball there a couple of minutes just to keep the ball. So Watford are going to have to work hard to crack this.
Healy takes advantage of a little bit of an error there from Freckleton. Edge of the penalty area. Chekmadadze tries to find his way through, the ball bobbling around. Eventually it will be cleared by Chesterfield up to the halfway line. Hoyt gets in the way of Quigley, and Sirialta plays it out wide. Martins now hasn't covered himself in glory particularly, Martins, but he's got the ball now. Plays a 1-2 with Livermore. The referee almost gets in the way. Andrews halfway inside the Chesterfield half. It's played to Healy. Touch from Healy to Espria. Back to Healy. Offside. And he's gone down, Healy. Has he twisted his knee as he got that shot away? Seems in a little bit of distress, Reece Healy, but his knee's gone, isn't it? He's saying he needs to come off.
Wow, I mean, lovely little interchange with Deli Bashiru, but I'm saying wow because if it is his knee, that is so disappointing, because it weren't a challenge, was it? He's played a 1-2, he's made the run off, and he does look in a lot of discomfort and upset. He looks upset, and I think it could be the old injury, because there wasn't a challenge on him. He's just played a 1-2, lovely 1-2, gets his shot off. He weren't offside, the linesman gave it and he wasn't. Seen a replay. Hopefully it's just cramp.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's seemingly what they might be treating him for. I think he feared the worst, because he has missed, or did miss, a lot of football last season with Toulouse in the French league. But hopefully, having not played a lot of football and then shown a turn of pace there, he's cramped up a little bit rather than anything else. We are going to see a couple of changes though, and it's our mate, Luke's mate, Jorge Hurtado, who's going to come on. Imran Louza, who is very much kind of he's not forgotten, because I've heard you and Jeff talk about him quite a lot, but he's a player with so much ability, but just maybe lacks a little bit in other areas.
Well, the question mark about him is his attitude, really, with Imran Louza, and does he really want to play and be committed? Well, this is the game you will see now against, a conference side. You would hope he will have the ability to play well. Does he really? This would be good to see what his attitude is like against Chesterfield now.
I'm going to see a triple change actually, because Rajovic is coming on as well. So Chekmadadze is one change. Reece Healy will be the other. He's making his way around the pitch, at least for Healy. He's up and about, but he won't play any further part. Imran Louza's on. Mateus Martins comes off.
Coming on to make his Golden Boys debut, number 17, Jorge Hurtado.
Rajovic, Louza, Hurtado are on.
It's number 9, Militer Rajovic.
Healy, Martins and Chekmadadze off. So with 20 minutes to go at Vicarage Road, as the night draws in, Watford are facing a third round exit against non-league opposition. Joe Quigley's goal that is still separating the sides. Ball played forward then as we restart from Ryan Boot. Looped forward by Naylor. Bit of a scrap on the edge of the penalty area between Hoot and Quigley. Free kick goes the way of Watford, and especially Hoot getting himself... Well, Ollie Banks has gone off, so
yes,
he's replaced him with...
He's got another sparring partner in
Yeah.
Quigley. Well, at least he picks the big ones, doesn't he?
Does, yeah, it's true, actually.
They're both big chaps, so he's not a bully. But the three subs, had to do something. Healy won because he's got cramp, then that had to happen. But Watford have to change now. Rajovic on the pitch. He needs delivery, he needs balls in the air, flying across the goal, like getting them close to the 6-yard box. That's what Rajovic wants. So they need to get a Asprilla on the ball. Andrews, they've got to get crosses in.
Excuse me, Will Grigg is going to come on shortly. Dropped down to the National League from Milton Keynes Dons in the summer. Scored goals at international level, of course. Will Grigg scored a very famous winner for Wigan against Manchester City in 2018. He's top scorer for the Spireites this season with 13, and he's going to come on. This is Paul Cook. This is how he dreamt it, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
I think Colclough's possibly going to come on as well.
Although he might have wanted two.
Yeah, well,
if he dreamt it, he might have wanted just have one more. Just as you get to the 70th minute, he probably wanted 4, but
ball played forward for Chesterfield. Covering is Wesley Hoot. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side. Picked up by Jacobs. Deflects back to Freckleton. Into the final 18 minutes at Vicarage Road. Ball cleared by Boot. It goes straight to Deli Basharou. Now Asprilla on the left-hand side, halfway inside the Chesterfield half. Cuts in field. Watford a goal down. Facing an FA Cup exit. Ball played out from Livermore to the right-hand side, and there's applause rippling round the stadium for both Graham Taylor but also John Duncan, who was the manager. I've alluded to that 1997 semi-final against Middlesbrough, the mastermind behind that. As the ball's played in by Deli Basharou, out for a goal kick. The mastermind behind that was the Chesterfield manager John Duncan. Graham Taylor obviously has legend status at Watford, but John Duncan, who passed away last year, or actually 2022, very much falls under the same banner from a Chesterfield perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. John Duncan, very good footballer as well, and he done a lot for Chesterfield. But Chesterfield trying to freshen it up as well now. 2 forwards who regularly start for them are coming on in Grigg and Colclough. So Paul Cook's thinking, obviously, game management, and Watford will be getting desperate, will be throwing men forward. He's now got 2 forwards that he'll feel can get him that second goal that he'll want on the counter-attack.
20 goals between them for Grigg and Colclough. The 2 men to go off, the goal scorer Joe Quigley and Armando Dobra, who's been very impressive, as well as I think every player in blue has been this afternoon. Deli Basharou turns away from Naylor, played forward to Asprilla. Asprilla left hand side of the penalty area. Chesterfield were struggling to get men back, but they have done so now. Deli Basharou has it halfway inside the Spireites half, plays it forward, it's touch lucky there, and then goes over, but the referee's not interested, and Chesterfield come forward. Given away by Darren Oldacre, though. We might see a little bit of this in the last 15 minutes. Watford coming forward, Chesterfield looking to hit them on the counter. Andrews has it, can't keep the ball in play. Three Counties Sport, BBC Three Counties Radio. We're on 103.8, 104.5 and 95 digital radio and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, some sloppy play from Watford. Hurtado, he's had the chance once when the ball come to him and didn't get a touch right. Then Deli Bashiru sold him short, and then Andrews should be trapping that ball. Just a little bit sloppy, but Losers needs to get himself involved. He's trying to be fair to him. And he's probably the key to Watford getting back in this, either Loser or Asprilla. They're the ones you're looking to provide a bit of magic now, or a bit of quality.
Asprilla back to Livermore. There's a ball into his own half. It's a tricky one for Sirialta, but he does well. Out to Andrews. And then a push from Grigg. Free kick to Watford. Final 15. Chesterfield have held the lead since the 27th minute. Asprilla on the left-hand side. Up against Shackelford. Plays the ball into the penalty. Yeah! 1-1! Rajovic with the header. The Hornets are level. 14 minutes to play. Watford 1, Chesterfield 1, and the substitutions have worked.
Well, that's the thing, when you got Rajovic on the pitch, you got to put crosses in the box and you got to put them in to certain areas, and that's what Asprilla does really well. He's on the left-hand side, just gets it out of his foot. Doesn't look to really hit anyone, looks to hit an area, but he hits it in low, hard, near the near post, and Rajovic does really well, getting in front of his defender, heading it down low. Keeper no chance to his right. 1-1, and Chesterfield will be kicking himself so, because they've done the hard work.
Cole Clough plays it through to Grigg, who stays onside. Grigg plays the ball back, and he just couldn't find a teammate. They were queuing up Chesterfield players. There was only one in yellow and black in the penalty area, and Chesterfield managed to find him. The ball played forward for Watford, out of play. Watford 1, Chesterfield 1. Rajovic, the substitute, with one of his first touches, nodding the ball past Ryan Boot. We've finally got an equaliser. Not that it was a string of chances for Watford or anything. The ball's played forward ahead of Asprilla, and it's out for a throw. And now we've got to talk about the possibility of a replay, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chesterfield will be a bit disappointed. It's good from Rajovic, but the fullback lets the cross come in first of all, and then the centre half, Rajovic gets across him, but Watford have been better in the second half. Definitely a better performance from him in the second half, and I think they deserve to get back into the game. Martin should have played Asprilla in a lot earlier, and they would have had a tap in a lot earlier in the second half. And it's going to be interesting now. Chesterfield, everything kind of going their way now with Watford equalising. How would they respond? And it's up to Watford now with the energy to try and go and get the winner, because I'm sure they won't want to replay. Both teams won't want to replay.
Watford have given the ball away in the centre circle. Mandeville plays it right. Jacobs. I mean, this is more like the Chesterfield team that have taken them to the top of the table. But on the back foot a little bit now with that equaliser. 11 minutes to play at Vicarage Road. Three Counties Sport. Watford 1, Chesterfield 1. Sirialta and Andrews combined to give the ball away. It's nodded forward to Grigg, who almost got ahead of the defender, but only achieved giving the ball to the Hornets. Asprilla couldn't get the ball under control initially. Steps inside. Shackelford still going. Asprilla. It's got support from Deli Bashiru. Held on to it maybe a bit too long. Cole Clough comes forward. Plays it short to Mandeville. Now to Cole Clough. He gives the ball away. And Livermore back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was high. Asprilla, just not one thing you say about him is he's strong enough at times, because he's still a young lad and just weren't strong enough there. And it was good from Chesterfield defensively, but Watford coming again.
With Morris. Aspria on the left-hand side, cuts in field, offside. Chesterfield are going to make a change. They're going to bring on James Berry. A couple of goals this season. They're going to make a double change, in fact. I think we're also going to see Mike Jones. It's a free kick to Chesterfield, and we're into the final 10 minutes of this FA Cup tie. The goalkeeper's going to be booked. Ryan Boot for time wasting. Seemed a touch harsh, actually, because it looked like he was waiting because he thought 2 substitutions were going to take place.
Yeah, he did, actually, he did. And strange thing, the subs wanted to come on and they've got to go to the 4th official, and you think that would have all been done.
Watford have it. Given away by Hurtado. It's the non-leaguers in possession with Cole Clough. Fouled by Livermore. Referee allows play to go on, and Will Grigg kind of stopped there, I think expecting a free kick. It wasn't given, and Deli Basharou comes forward. Up against Tom Naylor in the centre circle. Ball out to the right-hand side. Andrews in possession. Quite a cup tie we've got in the final 9 minutes at Vicarage Road. 1-1. The ball's played out to Aspria on the left-hand side. He's got Shackelford backpedaling, still going. Aspria plays the ball into the penalty area. It's flicked up and into the hands of Boot by Rajovic. Rajovic is making a difference.
Yeah, that's the best he could do with that, because the ball had no pace on it, and he just tries a back header and the goalkeeper can get there. But Deli Bashir has made a difference in the middle of the pitch. He's the one that's driving the team forward, and he's done well in there, in that middle of the pitch. He's been playing right back lately, so.
Shackelford gets the better of Aspria. Chesterfield have it in their own half, and it's back to Ryan Boot. It was a bit of a wayward pass, that. Boot, though, goes across his penalty area to collect. Finds Freckleton. Freckleton into the Watford half. Good turn by Mandeville. Another one who's had a good game. Oldacre likewise. Ball is with Horton. Opportunity. Jacobs into the penalty area. Good challenge from Andrews. Jacobs and Mandeville getting each other's way. Mandeville has it. Jacobs in support. The ball's played out to the edge of the penalty area. And Oldacre. Ball into the penalty area towards Grigg. Ball's in the 6-yard box. Watford get it away eventually. It hammers off the Chesterfield player there. Chesterfield get the ball back. Oldacre shapes to shoot. Ball deflected. Out for a corner.
Yeah, Oldacre, he's very good footballer. Middle of the pitch for Chesterfield. Just does everything simple, calm. He's the one, plays a lovely ball back into Grigg, and then they get a shot. Good defending from sorry, Paul Cook's having a laugh with the supporters here. So
well, he's got booked.
Quite entertainment.
Yeah, he's just been booked, and the supporters were giving him some, so he had a bit of a laugh with them. Corner to Chesterfield, 7 minutes to play, 1-1. Ball into the far post, headed back in, real shot over the bar for Chesterfield. Ryan Colclough, he got too much on it. If anything, it just needed to be directed in, and he went for maybe a little bit of power, and it went over the bar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the Chesterfield chairman, when he was watching it, would he be thinking, put it in the back of the net, Colclough, or shall we have a replay? But I'm sure he would want him to put it in the back of the net.
Especially if they draw Arsenal or someone in the next round.
Exactly, so he should score, although in his defence he's coming back off the goal line, and then he's got to readjust his head. It's not an easy one for him, but the marking from Watford poor, because the ball goes into the back post, and he's all alone at the back post, Palmer, to head it back. Terrible marking from Watford.
Double change then. Berry and Jones are on. Off go Mandeville and Oldacre. Watford come forward. Ball played forward towards Rajovic. Back out to Hurtado. Right hand side of the penalty area. up against Freckleton, plays the ball in all the way across and past the foot of Imran Louza. Comes off a Chesterfield player though for a corner. 5 minutes to play.
Yes.
Watford 1, Chesterfield 1.
Yeah, good play. Tardo on the right side, gets it on his left, just hits it low and hard.
Corner taken quickly. Aspria into the penalty, a free header into the hands of Ryan Boot. It was Livermore in his defence. There wasn't a lot of pace on the cross, and he was probably about 8 yards out, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he'd do well to score that because, like you said, Paul, there's no pace on the ball, and it's behind him a little bit. So it's not a clear-cut chance at all. But it's so balanced, you don't know which way this game could turn, and obviously Chesterfield being the way, if they get a draw they'll be delighted, but any team losing now will be very, very disappointed, obviously, because FA Cup, you don't know who you could draw in the next round. So
draw on Monday night after the Wigan-Manchester United match, but at the moment both of these sides are in the I was going to say hat, but I think it's the bowl. Challenge comes in the middle of the park, and Jones helps Chesterfield come forward. Jacobs unable to get there though, as Backman collects and rolls out to Jake Livermore. 4 minutes to play in this FA Cup third round. It's been an extremely good match, not always full of quality, but certainly full of action, full of drama. Watford equalising on 76 minutes through Rajovic after Quigley opened the scoring. Watford give the ball away, and Chesterfield have a throw on the right hand side. Raheem Shackelford, who set up Joe Quigley for Chesterfield's goal. Shackelford steals about 5 yards with the throw there. The ball's back with Watford. Rajovic on the halfway line to Imran Louza, loops the ball forward. Lee Basharou is after it. Shackelford gets there ahead of him though, back to the goalkeeper, and Boot hammers it away. Straight down to Siriauta. Challenge comes in from Naylor. The Spyrights have it. Halfway inside their own half, with Freckleton. Now Colclough back to the halfway line. Tom Naylor. Wayward, tired pass from Naylor. Jorge Hurtado, fresh from his New York Red Bulls loan. Up to the left-hand side, and Wesley Hoot over the halfway line to Aspria. Is there a winner in this? Morris, left-hand side, crunching challenge from Ash Palmer. Throw to Watford, 2 minutes plus added time. There'll be a bit, 5-6 minutes, you would think, at least. Aspria in possession. Deli Basharou turns nicely, edge of the penalty area. Basharou saved by the goalkeeper, out for a corner.
Yeah, good positive play from Deli Basharou. Lets the ball roll across his body and then just direct, hits it well. Keeper does well. Boot, who's had a good game.
Corner kick, referee's unhappy with something again. Again, it's Jake Livermore is being spoken to. Tom Naylor, the Chesterfield player, I think. Referee's happy now as the ball's played in then from the corner. Keeper comes quite a long way. Ryan Boot gets it away. Aspria backing up, takes the ball into his own half. Daniel Backman's not had a lot to do in this half at all, really. Ball played out to Morris, left-hand side. Plays a 1-2 with Wesley Hoot. Ball into the penalty area. It's a decent one. It's gone a long way. Shot comes in. It's a weak one from Rajovic, and the goalkeeper Ryan Boot falls on the ball.
Yeah, it's a lovely set from Siriauta. Just great ball in by Morris, set by Siriauta, and for some reason Rajovic just kind of, I think he gets caught in two minds, because he doesn't just strike through the ball Or is the defender, might be giving the defender no credit there for getting a foot in, Freckleton.
Ball forward to Hurtado, but defending was Brandon Horton. Watford wing it back. We're at 15 seconds from the end of the 90. Challenge comes in for Chesterfield. Ball looped forward up towards Will Grigg, intercepted by Wesley Hoot. Forward to Deli Basharou, out to Aspria. The 90's been played. Ball's into the penalty area. It comes off Palmer. It's a corner to Watford. 6 minutes of added time at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Chesterfield 1. FA Cup third round, 5:05 to come on Three Counties Sport. Is there going to be a winner? Is there going to be heartbreak for one of these sides? Or will both enter the fourth round draw and a replay in 10 days? Ball played into the penalty area from the corner. Little loop over the bar from Sirialta.
Yeah, it's ball bouncing about in the area, and Sirialta's just trying to hook it back towards goal. It goes over. Watford have had a lot of set pieces today and haven't really made a lot of them. But yeah, 6 minutes for one of these teams. I think if you're Chesterfield, obviously they will take the draw if you give it to them, offer them now. Watford won't want to be going to Chesterfield, but they might have to, or maybe not if Chesterfield get a winner.
Yeah, Cole Clough comes forward. Oh, escapes Andrews. He's got space on the left-hand side. 3 are waiting for it. Cole Clough, though, may not need them. The shot is blocked, and now Watford can come away with it in the second minute of injury time. Over the halfway line, Tom Deli Basharou has found space for Aspria. Rajovic is screaming for it in the penalty area. The ball is going into the centre, and Deli Basharou, and now Hurtado. Hurtado looks to take on his man Shackelford. Hurtado just loses his balance there a little bit, battles back again, but it was all ended up a little bit arms and legs from the Colombian, and Chesterfield in possession. They're causing themselves a little bit of a problem there as the ball's looped forward, though, up towards Will Grigg, towards the halfway line. Grigg did well, used his experience and wins the free kick.
Yeah, Hurtado they get the ball out to him. He's on the right hand side, left footed. Yeah, and he doesn't. He makes a mess of it, and then Chesterfield are allowed to clear it up to Grigg. And like you said, Paul, Grigg using experience gets fouled slightly, goes down, gets his team a free kick, and just takes the sting out of Watford's momentum.
Ball played forward towards Grigg, who stayed on side in the penalty area. Back to Cole Clough. Jacobs is in the penalty area, as is Berry, and it's given away, though, by Chesterfield, and Watford clear up to the halfway line. We've had 2.5 minutes of added time. Rajovic seen off there by Freckleton. Ball with the spy rights. Mike Jones in possession. Palmer to Freckleton. Hands away from Hurtado over the halfway line. Is there one more chance in this game? Horton comes forward. It would almost certainly be the winner. Mike Jones plays it across to Naylor. Naylor's somehow got through. Ball played into the penalty area, looking for Jacobs. It's intercepted, and the Hornets can come forward now. Deli Basharou once again running at the Chesterfield defence. Rajovic is screaming for it. The challenge comes in from Jacobs, but it falls to Deli Basharou. Ball bobbling around on the halfway line, and Aspria makes some sense of the nonsense, and Hoot plays it back to his goalkeeper. We've got what have we got? 2.5 minutes. Ball played forward by Loser over the top, looking for the run of Rajovic. Challenge comes in, and it's a Chesterfield throw.
How good is that? Freckleton at the back. I think he's been outstanding for Chesterfield, the centre half. Palmer alongside him. Them two have done well, apart from on the goal. Palmer gets beat to the near post, but them two centre halves and their back four in general. But Freckleton, he's caught the eye for me today. Probably make a mistake now, said that, but he's been excellent for Chesterfield.
He's up against Rajovic. Ball played back to... Oh, chance there, Deli Basharou to the penalty area. Deli Basharou to win it! Watford have won it! 2 minutes of injury time remaining to break Chesterfield hearts, but Watford are surely into the fourth round of the FA Cup. They've come from a goal down. Deli Basharou, the driving force in this second half for the Hornets. slipped the defender and drove it past Ryan Boot. Watford 2, Chesterfield 1.
Yeah, if Deli Bashiru's been outstanding since in the second half in that midfield role, driving from midfield, and if anyone deserved to get a goal, it was him, and he took the goal really well. Chesterfield would be kicking themselves, but Watford worked it well across the from the right to the into the box. Marking's poor from Chesterfield, just tiring, I think. And he sidesteps a dive. He dives in, Palmer. He shouldn't dive in the centre half, but I think they're tiring. And Deli Bashir takes it away from him with his right foot and finishes it with his left. He deserves that, Deli Bashir. He's been excellent in midfield second half.
Welcome listeners on 98 FM who've been listening to Burton Albion against Wycombe Wanderers in League One. It's Watford 2, Chesterfield 1 here, as Chesterfield have about 35 seconds to try and find a response. Ball played out to the left hand side, and Horton back in field to Jacobs. Jacobs forward, gives the ball away. Watford can come forward with Hurtado. He loses out, and Chesterfield come forward now with Horton. Colclough is on the left of him. It was a poor ball. Colclough keeps it in play though. Back to Horton. Plenty forward for Chesterfield. Jones has it. We're into the final couple of seconds here. Shackelford. Challenge comes in. Throw to Chesterfield. They might have time to take it. We've played the 6 minutes. Taken quickly. Shackelford now wins another throw. Referee has a couple of looks at his watch. The Hornets are heading into round 4 for the first time since 2019 as it stands. Chesterfield give the ball away, but Watford put it out for a throw. Chesterfield in possession with Berry. They can't find a way through at the moment. Plenty forward in blue. Berry wins another throw. Raheem Shackelford being told, well, there's 2 balls on the pitch. We've had nearly a minute extra. 2 balls on the pitch again. Berry plays the ball into the penalty area. That should be too close to Backman. There's a roar, goes around 3 sides of Vicarage Road, and Daniel Backman gratefully falls on the ball. Watford leading by 2-1. Deli Bashiru's injury time strike surely putting the Hornets through. Backman forward, the referee, whistle to lips. Watford are in round 4 for the first time since they made the final in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, they done it the hard way, and they'd be delighted that they've won that game. But must give Chesterfield credit from the National League. They really put on a great performance, but it kind of, the way Watford have won that game has kind of summed up some of their results lately. That even though not being at their best, they've managed to get a result in games, and that's been similar today. A better second half from Watford, definitely a lot better second half. Rajovic deserves a lot of credit, coming off the bench and scoring to get Watford back in the game. And Deli Bashiru, we were saying before he got the goal, they'd been really good in that second half, and he'd been the driving force from midfield. So, like I said, Watford lately been known for grinding out, even when they're not playing well, getting results. Well, that's what we've seen here today. They weren't at their best in the first half. Second half was better, weren't great, but they've still managed to get themselves and win the game. And there's a lot to be said for a team when, or a group of players, when you're not playing that well and you're winning games or drawing games. So encouraging from that point of view, but I wouldn't say that was a very good performance from Watford, but a great result. Not a great performance, but a great result.
So Quigley puts the visitors ahead on 27 minutes. Rajovic on 76 equalised, and in injury time, Tom Deli Bashiru stole in to drive the ball past goalkeeper Ryan Boot and send Watford into the 4th round of the FA Cup. 5:05 to come with Luke Ashmead. It's finished Watford 2, Chesterfield 1.
Thanks, Paul, Derek.